All of my content was really delayed this week, but I feel like I have to get a little bit more complaining out. I did a video on Monday afternoon or Monday morning about J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards and how they were in the right place at the right time with the right skills and motivation, and we had the wrong focus. And I'm going to be a little bit more specific with that in terms of breaking down two elements or two aspects of our failed execution offensively. And I don't mean execution like player execution. There are certainly some times where we miss blocks. I think I'll show you one of them in here. What I'm going to refer to here, to be honest with you, is our inability to stay with things that are working. So these first two plays, is going to be formation called heavy tray. It's characterized by its 22 personnel. You have this fake sweep to Duve to the side of the running back, which is in this case Gus, and then the run action going in the opposite direction. So Duve going in motion left to right to the side of the halfback. So theoretically, the halfback could go lead out and block. We know that's not going to happen. There's no one out here to lead block on the edge. There's no one to handle this corner. But in any case, it's heavy tray because you have a tight end on this side, tight end on this side, and then Ricard over here. Look, we're running behind Ricard the whole damn game. I'm going to be pretty pissed if we're still just running behind Ricard against the Falcons. I mean, it shouldn't surprise me if we do, but in any case, 25-yard gain behind Linderbaum pulling. Moses was a freight train pulling over from the right side of the offensive line to the left. 25-yard gain. When we get to some of these big situations against the Browns last week, why aren't we running the ball to the left side? Now, some people may say, well, maybe they put Myles Garrett over there. That could be true. All right, it could be true. Myles Garrett is not on the field on this play, so we're kind of lucky in that regard. He generally does play off the defense's right side, the offense's left. And you will see a couple plays here later on where he's on the field on our left-hand side. All right, so same play concept, same formation, I should say. Tight end, fullback. Tight end, Andrews, running back on the right. Motion by Duve, left to right, towards the bottom side of our screen. Really sloppy fake to Duve that's not well timed. And then Dobbins keeping the football, almost cutting it all the way back for a touchdown. If we get a better job by Duve of just continuing to play football here and go cut off Denzel Ward, Dobbins is probably able to wind this thing all the way back and really have a great chance to take it to the house, if you ask me. So heavy tray. And it's just a counter. It's not a read. There's no option read to it. It's just a counter. In this case, pulling Linderbaum again, pulling Moses again. Moses goes against the linebacker. Awesome play concept. Those two were both on the first drive. 25 and 17 yards on the first drive on that play concept. You want to know the next time we ran it? The fifth possession. Fifth. It took 4 more possessions for us to run the same formation, the same play. I'll show it to you. I think it'll be the 9th or maybe the 10th play I show you here. That's why I have this, corny title, Dance with, whoever. That's saying, dance with whoever brung you. We won't do that, even when something's working. All right, same drive, 3rd and 2. What would be wrong with the same concept we just talked about? Nope. We're going to motion Duve. All right, fine. To the side of the running back. Conceptually, this looks the same right now. It's not. This is split zone. Ricard is going to go and try to kick out the end. In this case, Garrett, I think it's Garrett up there, wrong arms it. Makes a great play. Digs inside of Ricard, and he's the guy who makes the tackle. If Ricard's able to get any piece of Garrett there, we've got a first down, and we don't have to deal with that 4th and 1 decision, ill-fated decision where we didn't get points on the next play on the fullback dive to Ricard. What would be wrong with running the play we gained 25 and 17 yards on this same drive? Milk the cow until it's out of milk. Especially when you're in the situation we're in with our backup quarterback in the game, and we finally have, our 2 running backs. And let's be honest, they are our best 2 players during this game. 4th and 1, another example of, just if you ask me, betraying what's working. We go to a fullback dive. It has worked before. Personally, I think he may have got the first down, or he was very close. Probably should have, gotten a measurement. But in any case, what would be wrong with running the same concept that's gashed them twice? I don't know. And that's the part that's frustrating to me. That's the part that's most frustrating to me. Other people can focus on, receivers, run pass ratios, the personnel groupings, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with focusing on them. What I'm showing you is plays that worked, plays that gashed the defense, and we just didn't go back to. Second drive, 1st and 10. And here's the thing that's very unusual about the way we're running, the way we do things on offense in a lot of ways. This is the same play as that 3rd and 2. The same exact play, except instead of Duve, this is Deshaun Jackson. Here's Ricard. It's going to be split zone. He's going to go kick out the end. What's this end going to do? He's going to wrong arm, the same way Garrett did on that 3rd and 2 when we gave the ball to Gus. Hopefully you guys remember it. I think I showed it twice. We're coming back to a play that failed on a 3rd and 2, on a 1st and 10. We get 5 yards. JK knows what he's doing. It's a wrong arm. Look, we've been coached up at this point. So Ricard just logs him. We understood what the Browns were going to do. We understood that against this formation and this look, that DN was going to wrong arm. So he's going to go inside of the kick out block by Ricard. Watch 94. Watch him go upfield and then go underneath. And Ricard just logs him. So Ricard just moves to the outside. JK cuts it back. Fine, we got 5 yards. Justify this for me, though. We ran this play on 3rd and 2 and got a yard. And we come back to it on the second possession, the second time we had the football. What the hell will happen to the same play that we ran twice for 42 yards combined? Make that make sense to me. What about that works? What other sport do you have a play concept, or even like, let's say, boxing? If the right-hand lead is working for Floyd Mayweather, he's going to keep throwing it. And I just don't understand why we go away from things that work and we return to things that didn't show the same level of success. Now, in this case, that split zone concept did gain 5 yards, but the first time, the 3rd and 2 to Gus obviously only gained a yard. Then the next run play on that drive is a stretch concept. We hadn't run stretch yet, to my knowledge. I think this is the second possession. I could be wrong. Actually, I'm sorry. I think this is the third. We hadn't run stretch yet. I don't understand the rationale behind some of these things at all. All right, so I think this is a fifth possession. And you're getting a counter. Again, we're not running it at all, but we have the same formation here. Duve is out wide. You have the tight end and the fullback on the same side. Andrews back on the other side. Except this case, we're in the pistol. We don't have the back set here, and then Duve motioning away and running the counter. We're just running the counter wind back with no motion. And the Browns do a better job defending it. Don't get me wrong. I think the Browns are onto us, though, in terms of the tight end and the fullback. And you'll see the next time we run the play I'm advocating we should have run earlier, we only get 6 yards. But 6 yards would have worked out pretty damn good on that 3rd and 2, or even the fourth and 1. All right. Somewhat similar concept, except now we're running the counter with the motion. And I think Demarcus Robinson's a little bit late there, but I could be wrong. Or maybe we snapped the ball early. Huge gain by JK on the 5th possession. Again, we're running behind Ricard. We're running with the motion this time. So are we doing certain things differently occasionally? Yeah. I don't know what would be wrong with coming back to the same play where we gashed them. This is the same concept, essentially. It's counter. We're not reading anything. We're following Ricard, and we're pulling Moses, running it to our left, as opposed to the previous play. This one, where are we running it? To our right. So there's multiple layers of frustration for me. It's going away from the concept in big moments, the 3rd and 2, the 4th and 1. And then also not recognizing that it's not just the concept, it's the direction that we're running it. Running it to our left, like you see here, like you saw on Gus's first 25-yard gain, on JK's 17-yard gain, worked. Here is the exact play I'm advocating that we should have run 6 or 8 more times that game, make them defend it, and then I'll make my final point. We only get 5 or 6 yards here. The Browns are definitely selling out to stop it. They know what's coming. That's the problem. That's another problem, is we don't have a complementary play off of this. We don't have built-in complementary plays to make them deal with something to this side, like, Duve on a wheel and the tight end up the seam or something like that. Just anything to make them defend something, back over to the side instead of just selling out to stop it down here. So are we too simplistic sometimes? Yes. Is what we're doing working at times? Yes, it is. In this case, the play concept was working. Certainly running counter to our left did work. Even on this play where the Browns are selling out to stop it, we still got 5 yards. It's unfortunate that we're not building complementary plays off of it, and we're being really predictable when it comes down to it from a formation standpoint. We do not appear to have 3 or 4 plays off the same look in every formation. That is called being formation-based. I have talked about that for the better part of 2.5 years, dating back to the 2020 playoffs when we played the Bills. The Bills were the first team, one of the first teams that I give a whole lot of credit to in that 2020 loss up in Buffalo, 17-3. They were one of the first defenses to really identify our formations, get in different looks depending on how we lined up offensively, because they understood we got in this formation to run 2 plays. Then we got in a separate formation to run 1 or 2 plays. Then we would get in a third formation to run 1 play. You cannot do that at any level of football. I have yet to find another play out of this look where we are running Duve or any receiver in motion. I've yet to find anything else that we run. Now, where we would run something different is if Andrews was out here as the X and Duve went in motion, what we would run? Snag, flat, and it would be the RPO. So the back would cross. Let me get rid of some of these lines, sorry. The back would cross Huntley or Lamar's face. We may give the ball or we may keep it. And we would either, if we keep it, we would throw it on the snag or we would throw it out into the flats. But that's a different formation. He's not at tight end. He's out here. So my point is, their defenses are going to identify formations. I've been saying that for a long time. The good ones are, I should say. And I think divisional opponents do a better job in some cases than teams who have only played us once every 2 or 3 or 4 years. You guys let me know what you think of my thoughts. Maybe I didn't describe them well enough. It doesn't mean that the point isn't valid. It's not my point. It is a reality of the offense that we're running now. We have consistently gone away from things that are working for whatever reason, instead of saying, we're going to do this until you stop it. And I think that is a fault of our offensive staff, I guess, starting with Greg Roman. And I don't know how the meetings go, but I would hope that someone in an offensive meeting at some point is saying, why the hell didn't we run heavy tray counter left more often? Because they never stopped it. Let me know what you think of my thoughts. I know that you share my frustration with the way the offense is playing. This is a specific look at it, though. Like, I don't care to talk about. So I'm mentioning this specific thing as something that shocks me from an NFL staff, where we're not forcing you to stop a concept 6, 8, 9, 10 times. If you look at the Cincinnati Bengals AFC Championship win over the Chiefs last year, it's very surprising from a number of levels. One of them, and I guess I should have shown the play, was the Chiefs had a play they ran 5 times, and they averaged like 8.5 yards per play against the Bengals. And they just didn't run it much at all in the second half. They didn't. I think they ran it once in mid third quarter and then never came back to it. And to me, our staff under Greg Roman offensively right now is very similar. We go away from things that are working. We don't recognize the direction, right or left, that we need to run these things in big moments. Appreciate you guys' time. I know my content this week is a little later. Let me know what you think of this video in the comment section.